Okay, so in this game we had the Kansas City Chiefs versus the New England Patriots. The Kansas City Chiefs are coming into this game with an 8-4 record, and they're going on the road to face the New England Patriots, who are coming into this game with a 10-2 record. Now, for the Kansas City Chiefs, when the NFL scheduling came out a couple of months ago, back, what was it, April or May, Kansas City should have had this game circled on the calendar. Because Kansas City, it seems like the players that they brought in the offseason, in the draft and free agency, were all brought in to not only win the Super Bowl, but help beat the New England Patriots. This team, when you look at the personnel that Kansas City brought in, when you look at the whole entire team and the roster, this roster is built to beat the New England Patriots. This roster has players that are able to expose the flaws that the New England Patriots offense and defense has. For example, the New England Patriots struggle with speed. Anytime they have a fast wide receiver that they get matched up against on the outside, they struggle. Let me give you a good example. When New England played Houston, New England double-teamed DeAndre Hopkins, right? They did that. They took away their best player, right? But what did Houston do? They said, okay, you can take away D-Hop. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go to Will Fuller. And Will Fuller made plays. Will Fuller is a speed demon. He has speed on the outside. New England's defense struggled to stop Will Fuller. They struggled to stop the speed that Houston had on the field. What does Kansas City have? All Kansas City has, all the wide receivers, are 4'4", 4'5" guys. You got Tyreek Hill. Do I really need to say a lot about Tyreek Hill? Then you got Mecole Hardman. Then you got Travis Kelce. So, I mean, Kansas City has speed at every skill position on their roster. The offensive line, pretty good. Their defense, they can get pressure on the quarterback. They brought in Frank Clark. Frank Clark, if he plays in this game, he's going to be a key piece to helping this Kansas City Chiefs team try to knock off New England at home. Because we've seen the New England Patriots over the last couple of weeks. You see, everybody thinks the New England Patriots are Superman. And over the last couple of weeks, we saw that the New England Patriots are vulnerable. We saw it in that game versus Baltimore a couple of weeks ago, and we saw it last week versus Houston. And Romeo Crennel had an extraordinary, great game plan. I mean, exceptional game plan. So the New England Patriots over the last couple of weeks have looked mortal. The offense has struggled to put up points. I mean, if you want to count the couple of touchdowns that they scored in a couple of closing minutes in the fourth quarter, then yeah. But for the most part, Houston's defense shut down New England. And this is a Houston defense that isn't really that great. So the New England Patriots have had some obviously struggles. And coming into this game, if you're a New England Patriots fan, you should be worried. Now, although you're playing out Foxborough, you're facing a Kansas City Chiefs offense that can put up points. And your defense can only get so many stops. You're not facing the Kansas City Chiefs team that you faced last year in the AFC Championship game. Because this defense is a better defense than what it was last season. Their secondary is not great, but it's making strides and it's making improvements. So if you're the New England Patriots, although your defense is going to keep you into the game, the question is, can your offense score enough points to keep up with Kansas City? Because Kansas City is going to get theirs. If you watch the last couple of Kansas City Chiefs and New England Patriots team games, Kansas City was able to score points. The thing that caused Kansas City to lose games was their defense. So then that goes to my question about Kansas City. I already talked about New England's offense. But the question is, will this Kansas City Chiefs team and this defense be able to take advantage of a New England Patriots offense that has struggled over the last couple of weeks? New England really doesn't have identity on offense. Really, New England's offense is basically Julian Edelman, and if you stop Julian Edelman, that's it. That's it. Now, although James White had a big game last week, we'll get into that a little bit later, this defense of Kansas City has to step up, and they got to make some plays. Because if this game comes down to a last 2-minute drive to win, Tom Brady has the ball in his hands, Kansas City's defense is on the field. Will Kansas City's defense be able to step up and make a play to win the game for Kansas City. Can Kansas City's defense get key stops, key turnovers, something impactful to affect the outcome of this game? Because the last couple of Kansas City Chiefs and New England Patriots games, I watched a Kansas City offense that was able to get out to a lead, and then the defense just go on the field to close the game out and lose it. So Kansas City's defense, can they stop a New England Patriots offense that is in a very, very vulnerable state right now? This New England Patriots offense has not been good. Tom Brady has been under pressure a lot. He got sacked 3 times versus Houston last week. This offensive line has struggled. The wide receiving core has struggled. Other than Julian Edelman, the New England Patriots don't have a reliable target to throw to. And you don't have Gronk this year. And James Ryder-Rakes Burkhead, if you're able to take them out of the game, then you pretty much solved this New England Patriots offense. So can this defense of Kansas City step up and make plays? Now, looking at my keys to victory, what both of these teams be able to do to win this game, for the Kansas City Chiefs, you got to stop Julian Edelman. Look, if you take away Julian Edelman, you got a good chance to stop this New England Patriots offense and have a good chance of winning this game. Because Julian Edelman is pretty much the only reliable target that Tom Brady has to throw to. If you take out the equation of James White. But really, Julian Edelman is basically the only reliable target Tom Brady trusts and he's able to throw to. And if you double team him and take him out of the game like what Houston did last week and force Tom Brady to go to these other young wide receivers, you make life hard on this New England Patriots offense and Josh McDaniels. The next thing Kansas City needs to be able to do to win this game, I think this is the most important, is you got to be able to stretch the field. Last week, what was Houston able to do versus the New England Patriots defense? Stretch the field. If you want to beat this New England Patriots defense, you got to be able to do 2 things. You either got to be able to out-physical, you got to be more physical than them on the line of scrimmage. You got to out-physical them, which good luck doing that because you don't really see a lot of teams out-physical a Bill Belichick coach team unless you're Baltimore. So if you're Kansas City, you either got to be able to out-physical New England or you got to be able to stretch the field deep. I say stretch the field deep because that's a little bit more realistic. The Kansas City Chiefs are not the Baltimore Ravens, but they are able to stretch the field deep. They got guys on the outside that can cause matchup problems. It doesn't matter if you take away Tyreek Hill because they still got Travis Kelce and you still got to worry about Mecole Hardman. So, I mean, the New England Patriots, right now, defensively, they're in a vulnerable state. Because the offense can't sustain drives. And this defense struggles with speed on the outside. This is why I said at the beginning of the video, this Kansas City Chiefs team, based on the personnel and the players that they have, is built to beat the New England Patriots. The players that they have on the outside are going to cause the New England Patriots secondary, on paper, a lot of the problems. Because of the speed that they have. And what has New England struggled to deal with this year? Speed. We saw it last week versus Houston. Will Fuller, speed guy, destroyed this New England Patriots secondary. So now what New England has to be able to do to win this game is, you also have to be able to protect Tom Brady. He got sacked 3 times versus Houston. That's without Jadeveon Clowney. He's in Seattle. And that's without J.J. Watt. He's on injured reserve. So, New England has to be able to protect Tom Brady. This offensive line over the last couple of weeks has really, really struggled. And a lot of people want to blame Tom Brady, saying that Tom Brady's falling off, Tom Brady's hitting the cliff. Tom Brady isn't the issue. Tom Brady has played up to the best of his ability. He doesn't have a reliable wide receiver other than Julian Edelman, and doesn't have a lot of time to sit back there and throw. So when you take those 2 aspects into account, of course, Tom Brady is going to be at his best like we have been accustomed to seeing over the last couple of years. So New England has to be able to protect Tom Brady and give him time to throw. Because look, if he gets sacked like how he got sacked last week versus Houston 3 times in this game, New England's going to lose this game. Because in this game, New England has to be able to have success on offense. They have to be able to throw the ball. Look, you can run the football all you want to, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, New England's still going to have to put up some points. And if New England gets down early, things can get ugly. Things can get real ugly. Because if New England, who hasn't really been that effective running the football this year, they have to rely on the passing game. So if you get up early on New England and you force them to have to pass the ball to get back into the game, you're at a disadvantage if you're a New England Patriots fan or a New England Patriots offensive coordinator like Josh McDaniels, because then the defense can just key in on stopping the pass. It hasn't really been that difficult. The wide receivers haven't really been that effective other than Julian Edelman. You take him away, pretty much their whole entire offense. Then you got to worry about Rex Burkhead and James White, and Sony Michel's just too inconsistent. So New England has to be able to protect Tom Brady, because if this game ends up being the shootout territory, they're going to have to be able to put up points. And if you can't protect Brady, you're not going to be able to put up a lot of points. The last thing New England has to be able to do is they need to get Ben Watson involved. Ben Watson, the tight end that New England signed and brought back in the offseason. He needs to have a big game. And then Josh McDaniels needs to find a way to get him involved. Kansas City has given us 758 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns, and 79 receptions to tight ends. That's top 5 in the NFL amongst tight ends. So the Kansas City Chiefs defense is not good at stopping tight ends. So when you look at the New England Patriots team that has struggled to find a consistent, reliable option in the passing game other than Julian Edelman, you got to look at Ben Watson. Kansas City's obvious hole in the secondary is their inability to guard and stop tight ends. So if you're the New England Patriots, you got to be able to take advantage of that. So the team that I'm going with to win this game, I'm taking New England. I'm taking New England. Now, here's the reason why I'm taking New England. Although New England has their struggles, they're playing at New England. It's really tough to win at New England. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, New England has struggled over the last couple of weeks. But all the games that they've lost have been on the road, not at home. If Kansas City was playing this game at home and New England was on the road, I would take Kansas City. But I'm taking New England to win this game because I've yet to see New England lose a home game. And I've yet to see Kansas City really beat New England at home. This is their kryptonite. Kansas City can beat New England with the talent that they have on their roster this season if they're playing at home. But on the road, I don't think that can happen. And I think New England's going to find some way to bounce back. So I'm going to take New England win this game because they have that home field advantage. And it's so tough to win at Foxborough. And Andy Reid hasn't been able to accomplish that feat in his whole entire coaching career. So I'm taking New England to win this game. I think New England wins this game 24 to 20 is my final score prediction. So let me know who you guys think will win this game down in the comment section down below. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and college football videos. And thanks for watching.